What's up? Good morning, good evening, good night. It is hump day, it's Wednesday. Welcome to my first Phlex Philosophy. So today I just wanted to start on the topic of personal development. Simply it's because something that I truly believe in, and it's something that I'm working towards every single day. So I wanted to put together my thoughts on how I think about it and how I see it. And if it's something that aligns with you or something that you haven't heard of before, maybe you can learn a thing or two. Or if you have a different opinion, just drop it in the comments below and I'm happy to have a discussion about it. So to talk about personal development, we have to understand what is development. In the eyes of the Cambridge English Dictionary, development is the process in which someone or something grows or changes and becomes more advanced. So if we're going to look at that and apply it to personal development, really we're talking about the way in which you yourself can become more advanced and grow and change. So to start off, the way I see personal development is there's three main areas that you've got to think about. You've got the spiritual, the physical, and the mental. When I'm talking about spiritual, I'm thinking of things like emotions, spirituality in terms of religion, if that's what you want to call it, and anything in that realm. When I'm talking about mental, I'm thinking about intellectual and mental health, more particularly. So now let's look at the three areas. I've broken each area down into three segments in which I feel hit main points to do with those things. So let's start with spirituality. With spirituality, I would argue the first thing you have to do is recognize how to find happiness. And I'm talking about internally driven, intrinsically motivated. So that means using anything within yourself to bring out that happiness. Not looking for things on the outside to bring the happiness to you. So we're not looking at money, jobs, people and relationships or any of those things to bring us happiness, but rather what can we do within ourselves to motivate ourselves to be happy and find that true happiness. And the next thing I'm looking at really is about emotions and how you should feel you can control your emotions rather than letting your emotions control you. Now that doesn't mean you can't have emotions flood in and out and not plan them, but it just means that when they come, you be a bit more proactive with your reactions to them. Allow the emotion to flood you, allow the emotion to have an effect on you, but then you quickly want to resolve that emotion and move on. In other words, if you're sad about something, you don't want it to linger for too long. If you're stressed about something, you definitely don't want that to linger too long. So allow yourself to feel the emotion, process what that feeling means to you, and then move on to the next thing. However long that takes, your goal is to try and make that time last smaller and smaller so you can get back to that state of internal happiness that we just talked about. And then with spirituality, the third thing really is just whatever else comes after that. So that's when you get into the religious side of things and that kind of spirituality. I don't want to go too deep into it because, it's completely different for everyone. Everyone has their own beliefs and faiths, and I encourage you to explore yours as much as you can, but truly find out what you hold dear to your heart and what makes sense to you. So the next segment is physical. Now let's look at that on a really broad spectrum. The first thing is just physical health. As you get older, you spend less time worrying about your physical health and less time paying attention to it. Just think about it. When you're a kid, you have to walk everywhere. You don't have a car. So that in itself gives you exercise. As you get older, you learn to drive, you stop going to school where you have to walk between classrooms, and you go to an office job maybe where you're sat down for 8-9 hours of the day. Then you get in a car, you sit in your car and drive home, then you get home, you sit on your couch and you watch TV. Now I understand that's not everyone, and I understand that it's a very easy routine to slip into, but I would encourage you to think about your physical health and what you can do to make that better with exercise. That doesn't mean you have to go crazy and work out 7 days a week. It just means being a little bit conscious. So maybe sometimes walk to the shop if you can instead of driving. Or in the mornings, go for a 10-minute walk. That's all it takes, 10 minutes. That's better than doing nothing. The next thing, and this is a big one, is diet. It's really, really easy in this world, in this day and age, to go and get something that's quick and easy, like McDonald's or Burger King. But we all know that that's not the best option for you. Something that is good for you may take a little bit more preparation and actually isn't as expensive as people think. For example, if you're going to go and buy your food so you can prepare your meals for days to come, that actually works out to be significantly less than it is to eat out 3 times a day at a fast food restaurant. How do I know this? I've been doing it for the last 3 years. So I'd encourage you to think about budgeting, go to your local grocery store and have a look and see what you can actually save by planning some meals out, planning what you're gonna eat, planning what groceries you're gonna buy, and doing it that way instead of going and taking the easy route and eating fast food. And then the last thing for physical really is just joint care. It's something that we don't think about too much and it's very easy to skip over, but as you get older your joints do deteriorate more. Do things like stretch and make sure you do take maybe a supplement like some omega-3 so that you can get some lubrication into your joints. Once your joints start to deteriorate, it can become very uncomfortable and nobody wants that. So the last segment was mental. Now my first thing for mental is regular stimulation. Something that we do every single day growing up is you go to school. When you go to school you are regularly being mentally stimulated by having to learn new things, communicate with new people, deal with completely new tasks that you've never done before. And then you leave school, you go to work, and in your job it's quite often that you'll end up doing the same thing day in and day out over and over again. And after a while, it just becomes routine. You don't even have to think about it too much. So now you wake up, you go to work, you do the same thing every day, you come home and you probably watch the same TV shows. You're not really stimulating yourself mentally. I would encourage you to try and pick up a book, read an article, watch a documentary, do something that's going to mentally stimulate you that you don't do in your regular day. And that leads me on to the second thing, ingesting new information. As I said, when you're in school, you're constantly encouraged to learn new things, as you have to pass your classes. But as you get older, it's very easy to negate any new information. Even if you're a social media fan and you're on there all the time, if it's something you don't want to know, you can just scroll right past it. But I challenge you to think about when you're in school, you spend all the way up until you're 18, maybe 21, 22 if you go to university, even older if you go into a doctorate. You spend all that time learning things that you don't necessarily want to know. Now, as you get older through school, you do direct your studies more towards what you want to learn, but I guarantee every single day you spend on this planet, you find out more and more what you want to know. You find out more and more about yourself. So, as that happens, why don't you start to learn about things that you find more and more interest in? So, if you're interested in traveling, why don't you read some travel articles? If you're interested in sports, why don't you read some sports journals? If you're interested in art, why don't you spend some time actually going to some galleries and learning about some of the artists in the world? All I'm saying is, think about the things you enjoy and maybe learn a little bit about them. And then the last thing is having a healthy balance of information, and this is for the mental health side. So the way I see it is you can't have too much of one thing. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. We've all heard it before. Where I'm really getting at with this is you have to have the things that make you laugh. You have to have the things that challenge you. You have to have the things that make you feel happy. You even have to have the things that make you feel a little bit sad, to be honest. You've got to mix up the information that you're giving your brain all the time. So make sure that you do have an array of things that you ingest during the day, whether it's through TV, through music, through articles, through books, through the internet, however you're getting the information. Do vary it up throughout the day. So that's really where I'm going to end this one. It's only the first one and I'm just looking at personal development as a whole, as a totality. Going on from here, my Phlex Philosophies, I'll be diving in a little bit deeper into personal development, as that's really where I want these videos to hit. I want to give you some information that maybe you can use and utilize to move on in life and develop yourself. And if you feel like you have a difference of opinion, as I said, just put it in the comments below and I'm happy to discuss it. I'll even reference back in the videos if I feel it's necessary. And I'm always willing to learn. As I've said, ingest new information, so if I ever feel I've got something wrong, I'll make sure to let you guys know. So keep tuning in, guys. Daily videos are going to be going, and my Phlex Philosophies too. If you feel like you have a topic you want me to talk about in particular, just let me know and I'll be happy to look into it further. Alright guys, I'm checking out. If you're liking what you hear and you're liking the videos that I've been putting out, please hit that subscribe, hit that share, hit that like. It's taken a lot out of me to make these videos, but I love doing it for you guys, and I've seen the response rate is already going up in this short space of time. Something that I really want to do is try and get 1 subscriber a day for the year, so end with 365 new subscribers in 2017, and I can't do it without you guys. So please keep hitting that subscribe, keep hitting that like, and keep sharing my videos. Appreciate you guys. Peace.